Alright, so welcome to Real Journey. I'm starting the video off today hiding behind this wall right here because it's so windy today. It's probably going to make a difference in the noise. I actually hear a plane going by. I'm also near a pretty busy road, so there might be some traffic. And we have 3 different construction sites around us. So there's only one side of this lake that doesn't have construction going on around it. So it might get a little noisy fishing here, but this is one of my favorite places to fish. I mean, you can see back behind me, it is big. This is not like a pond. This is a lake, and you can walk around it and you can fish from the bank. There's some big bass in here, and when it's windy like this, there's ripples on the water. You can throw like a chatterbait. You can throw a lot of different stuff, catch a lot of fish, and you catch some really big fish. I've had some of my best fishing days of my life on overcast conditions like this, where there's wind and ripples on the water. So I'm really excited about today for that, and because we're fishing the cheapest swim bait there is. And I don't know if that's like actual facts there, but it is pretty dang cheap. $2. Swim baits are expensive. You know, these are soft plastics by Ozark Trail. If you're unfamiliar with Ozark Trail is Walmart's brand. So a while back, they were just, oh, here comes a truck. See what I mean by traffic? So a while back, Ozark Trail just put out their camping stuff, their hiking stuff, and then they transitioned into some fishing stuff, some hard baits and stuff like that. And they have some hard baits that are pretty dang good, and they're like the cheapest there are when it comes to hard baits. You know, they're just the cheapest. And there's a few that I like a lot, and then there's a few that aren't that good. Well, we're going to find out if this is really good or not that good. All right, so let's get it open and let's start fishing. All right, so right here we have our swim bait hook. It's a 4/0. I'm not sure exactly the weight on that, but we're going to screw in this end right here into the end of the swim bait. And then I'm going to also try and use this swim bait as a trailer on a chatterbait. And those are the 2 main ways that I'll fish these baits. And so those are the 2 ways that I really want to see how good they are. As far as smell goes, they just smell kind of rubbery. Nothing special there. So these are called the Shutter Swimmer. And this is the Bluegill Flash. It's a 5-pack. They're 4 inches long. It recommends a 3/0 belly weighted gap hook. We have a 4/0 here. We're going to go a little bigger. It will loosen the action of that tail, but look at that tail. It's wiggling like crazy. So I'm confident the 4/0 will be fine on this. And yeah, so we'll see if that's true. I'll put it together right now. Let me get this tucked away in the fanny pack. Yeah, I'm rocking the fanny pack. So once we get this tucked in here, ooh, it feels kind of soft for soft plastics for swim baits. Screws in there really easily. So I went all the way up to the end. I did that because I'm using a bigger hook. 4/0 actually is kind of big for this. So I probably should have used a 3/0. So I like to leave that hook exposed so that, you know, our hookup ratio will be better. But there you have it. That tail still has a lot of wiggle. I'm confident we're going to catch something with this. So let's get to it. But first, let me pull out one more. We only have 4. Yeah, there's so many big trucks that are doing construction driving by here. And there's like bells ringing from the construction site and everything. So we have this chatterbait right here. And so we're going to put this bad boy on here. I experiment a lot when it comes to trailers for chatterbaits. And if this ends up being a good chatterbait trailer for $2 for 5, I might stop experimenting. This might be what I throw all the time. It's hard to beat. I didn't really put that on the greatest. That was not the greatest job by me. Let me squeeze that on there. I like to do super glue. Alright, so there we have it. I like to do super glue up on here, but I never seem to remember to bring my super glue. And that just keeps your trailer on there a little better, but it feels like it's on there pretty good. Some people will have this tail upside down. I don't do that. I mean, if it's swimming through the water like this, the tail should be like that in my mind. But there's fishermen a lot better than me that do it the other way. There's fishermen better than me that do it this way. So I think that's one of those what do you prefer to do type of deals. All right, well, let me just make the first cast. And I'm going to work my way around this pretty quick. So that's the good thing about both of these baits. They're going to be moving. These are moving baits. So we'll cover some water. Make another cast over here before we leave. So we'll be able to cover some water and walk our way around this pond pretty quickly. I'm just making a short little cast right here. The water's pretty dark. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that tail is wiggling like crazy. That looks really good in the water. Really good. Okay, so far I have like no complaints just of putting them on these two and seeing their action in the water. Oh my goodness, it really does look good in the water. All right, let's keep it moving and work our way around. Oh, got a fish right here. Yes. All right. Yes. He was right on that edge. So this is a little feeder creek. The water is higher than it normally is, so it's actually feeding out into the swamp. And right at that edge, he was sitting in water that is moving pretty good, but he's sitting right on that edge because bait fish will get forced down through here. And they, you know, some of them are so small that they can't do anything. So he's just sitting right on that edge, waiting for food to come by so he can hit it. All right. Man, it is windy. Not a giant, but hey, we're on the board. And it looks like someone went through the trouble of stacking a bunch of rocks right here. That's really awesome because I've been walking through this water lately. And yeah, it's nice not to have to. All right, that felt good. Finally got that skunk off. Oh, wind took that. Got him. Oh, first cast. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, get up out of here. Oh, jeez, guys. Holy cow. What do we have here? What do we have? Get up over here. Oh, it's got a ton of grass on it. Get up over here. No way. I cannot lose this fish up in this grass. Get over here. First cast, everybody. Oh, baby. All right. New location with the swim bait. I wanted to catch a fish with both the swim bait from Ozark Trail as a trailer and as a straight just swim bait, you know. And oh, that's a big one. First cast at this location. Check that out. Woo! Woo! All right. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you're not part of the Real Journey team, please hit that subscribe button. And before I close out this video, I just want to say one or two things that might be interesting to some of you that like fishing tips. Right now they're not chasing, so I didn't catch a lot of fish in this video. They're not really chasing bait fish right now. I hoped they were because of the conditions. It's overcasty, it's windy. I was hoping those bass are out roaming, but they're not. And because they're not, I thought they might be under some lily pads, and I'm curious how this will do on some lily pads. And I'd like to catch a fish just on the swim bait and not the swim bait as a trailer to a chatterbait. So this seemed like the perfect place to come and test that out. And yeah, it's not quite fall yet, so we didn't catch a ton of fish in this video, but that bait works well. That tail wiggles like crazy. The only thing I have about it, I'm gonna start using those as trailers on chatterbaits though. I really am. They seem better than a lot of different swim baits that I use as trailers for chatterbaits. Those seem pretty dang good, and they're super cheap. So I think those are going to be my new chatterbait trailers. But here's the thing. The one thing that isn't good about these is they have no smell, no taste. So if a bass doesn't hit it while it's moving, so say you're just kind of twitching it around and falls, and they pick it up, they might pick it up and just taste plastic, so they just drop it. So I think in the future I'll probably put some garlic inside my Ozark Trail package, my bag, and so those will start smelling like garlic. Bass love garlic. If you start throwing that out there and they start picking it up, you know, you feel, sometimes you feel a bite and you're like, I have a fish. And then you set the hook, bam, and you have them. Sometimes when it doesn't taste good, you go, I have a fish, and then you go to set the hook and they've dropped it. And then you don't have a fish. So putting that garlic in there to me is worth doing, because it's the difference between having a fish and not having a fish sometimes. So that's about all for today on Real Journey. We're out. Deuces.